Hello, my lovelies. It is time for another round of Have I Read It? So stay tuned. If you're new here, hi, hello, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. Have I Read It is one of my multiple TBR games that I play in order to help pick my TBR for the upcoming month. And the way this one works is you get to help pick my TBR. So I react to a haul from over 3 years ago and I tell you if I've read the book, if I have unhauled the book, or if I still own it and haven't read it. And out of all of the books that I still own that I have not read, you get to vote on which book or books you want me to read in the upcoming month. And I will pick based on how many books are in the unread category. So if I have 1 through 9 unread, then I'll pick the number 1 voted book. If I have 10 to 19, I'll pick the top 2 voted books, and so on and so on. So today we're going to be reacting to my book haul from January 2021, and it looks like a lot of books. Yeah, it looks like a lot of books. So I have my earbuds plugged in. I've got my video pulled up. Let's get started. Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome to my channel. Today I have my book haul for you, so stay tuned. So today I have 43 books to show you. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I think I went a little crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I ended up ordering a lot. I also did quite a bit of unboxing, so there's some subscription box books here. But yeah, I ordered a lot. In 3 years, when I do my Have I Read It for this one, I'm gonna regret it. Hopefully I'll get to them before then. Oh, but we'll see. Okay, so I have books here that are, as I said, from subscription boxes. I have books from things that I've ordered, and I also have a couple of books that were gifted to me. Ooh, hold on. So I said I had 43 books, but that's incorrect because I just thought of 3 more books that I just happen to have in other piles. So it's actually 46 books that I have here to show you. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with the 3 that I just picked up and that are currently in my hands. So I picked up Siege and Storm and Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo. Okay, I'm pretty sure I've read both of those. Let me double check, but I'm pretty sure. Yes, I have read those. Okay, yay. Good start, good start. All right, next up. And the other one that I was holding on to because it was actually part of my wrap up for last month was Alicia in Atlantis by Nathalie Lane. I have also read that. I don't know. Oh, I forgot to say on the other ones that I do still own those. I'm not sure about this one though. Okay, I do still own that one as well. All right, next up. Okay, so let's just start with the ones that are up here. These first 2 are ones that were gifted to me. So the first one I have here is The Honey Don't List by Christina Lauren. I feel like I haven't read that one. I need to check. Okay, actually I have read that and I do still own it. Okay. All right, next up. So this next book here was gifted to me by my mom, and she knows this author's mother and had a copy sent to me so that I could read it and review it here on my channel. Well, my mom apparently loved this book and flew through it. It is called There Are Things I Know by Karen B. Golightly. I actually read that this year and I still own it. That's a really good book. All right, next up. Okay, so the next few books are ones that came in different subscription boxes. I think that this first one was in one of my Brave Girls Book Club boxes. And that is When Life Gives You Mangoes by Corrine Getton. I have also read this. I can't remember if I've unhauled it or not. I think I still own it. So
I believe this is one that I read this year. Yeah, and I haven't updated my Goodreads for this year. I do still own it because I know I haven't done an unhaul yet. So, all right. Next up.
Okay, so these next 4 books, I believe, came from my Once Upon a Book Club Advent box. So the first one I have here, and this is probably the one I'm most excited about out of these 4, is Immoral Code by Lillian Clark.
I feel like maybe I've unhauled this one. Okay, so this is one that I still own and I have not read. This says Ocean's 8 meets The Breakfast Club in this fast-paced, multi-perspective story about 5 teens determined to hack into one billionaire absentee father's company to steal tuition money. For Nari, aka Narioka Diane, aka hacker digital alter ego Dolos, it's college and then a career at one of the big ones like Google or Apple. Keegan, her sweet, sensitive boyfriend, is happy to follow her wherever she may lead. Reese is an ace arrow visual artist with plans to travel the world. Santiago is off to Stanford on a diving scholarship with very real Olympic hopes. And Bellamy, physics genius Bellamy, is admitted to MIT, but the student loan she's been counting on is denied when it turns out her estranged father, one Robert Foster, is loaded. Nari isn't about to let her friend's dreams be squashed by a deadbeat billionaire, so she hatches a plan to steal just enough from Foster to allow Bellamy to achieve her goals. Fast-paced and banter-filled, Lillian Clark's debut is a hilarious and thought-provoking Robin Hood story for the 21st century. So if you want me to read this, vote Immoral Code. All right, next up.
Next up we have Dreamland Burning by Jennifer Latham.
I have read, but I believe I've unhauled Dreamland Burning. Next up.
Then we have 8 Days on Planet Earth by Kat Jordan.
I do still own this one, and I have not read it. This says, how long does it take to travel 13 light years to Earth? How long does it take to fall in love? To the universe, 8 days is a mere blip, but to Matty Jones, it may be just enough time to change his life. On the hot summer day Maddie's dad leaves for good, a strange girl suddenly appears in the empty field next to the Jones farm. The very field in rural Pennsylvania where a spaceship supposedly landed 50 years ago. She is uniquely beautiful, sweet, and smart, and she tells Maddie she's waiting for her spaceship to return to pick her up. Of course she is. Maddie has heard all the impossible UFO stories for all of his 17 years, the conspiracy theories, the wild rumors, the crazy belief in life beyond the stars. As a kid, he searched the skies with his dad and studied the constellations. But all that is behind him now. Dad's gone and Maddie's stuck. But now there's Priya, the self-proclaimed alien girl. She must be crazy, or high, right? As Maddie unravels the mystery of Priya, he realizes there is far more to her than he first imagined. And if he can learn to believe in what he can't see, the universe, aliens, love, then maybe the impossible is possible after all. So if you want me to read this, about 8 Days on Planet Earth. All right, next up.
Okay, next up we have This Heart of Mine by C.C. Hunter.
I feel like I still own this one, but I'm going to check. I do still own this, and I have not read it. This says, a new heart saved her life, but will it help her find out what really happened to its donor? 17-year-old Lee McKenzie is heartless. An artificial heart in a backpack is keeping her alive. However, this route only offers her a few years, and with her rare blood type, a transplant isn't likely. Living like you are dying isn't all it's cracked up to be. But when a heart becomes available, she's given a second chance at life. Except Leah discovers who the donor was, a boy from her school, and they're saying he killed himself. Plagued with dreams since the transplant, she realizes she may hold the clues to what really happened. Matt refuses to believe his twin killed himself. When Leah seeks him out, he learns they are both having similar dreams, and he's certain it means something. While unraveling the secrets of his brother's final moments, Leah and Matt find each other, and and a love they are terrified to lose. But life and even new hearts don't come with guarantees. Who knew living took more courage than dying? So if you want me to read this, vote This Heart of Mine. All right, next up.
Okay, the next several books are from different Unplugged book boxes. So there's the regular adult ones, there's the regular YA ones, there's also a special edition middle grade one they did, and a Christmas one they did. So the first one here is A Cuban Girl's Guide to Tea and Tomorrow by Laura Taylor Namey.
I feel like I read this, but I'm not sure. I did read this, and I do still own it. All right, next up.
And next we have, this is one of the Christmas ones. It's One More Christmas by Sarah Morgan.
I'm not sure about this one. Okay, I do still own this, and I have not read it. This says, from the USA Today bestselling author of The Christmas Sisters comes this sparkling tale of Christmas redemption, brimming with Sarah Morgan's trademark festive cheer. You won't want to miss it. For sisters Samantha and Ella Mitchell, Christmas is their most precious time of year, a time for togetherness, love, and celebration. Most of all, it's about making up for everything their childhood Christmases lacked. But this year, they'll be buying presents for the most unexpected guest of all, their estranged mother. It's been 5 years since they last saw each other, but when their mom calls out of the blue and promises that this Christmas will be different, Samantha and Ella cautiously agree to spend it all together. Gail Mitchell is at the top of her career, but her success has come at a price, her relationship with her daughters. She never seemed to say or do the right things. Her tough love approach was designed to make them stronger, but instead managed to push them away, until a brush with her own mortality forces Gail to make amends. As the snowflakes fall on their first family celebration in years, the Mitchell women must learn that sometimes facing up to the past is all you need to heal your heart. So if you want me to read this, vote One More for Christmas. That would certainly be an interesting choice for the middle of summer. All right, let me get back to the video. Next up.
Okay, next we have The Ruthless Lady's Guide to Wizardry by C.M. Wagoner.
I feel like maybe this is one I've unhauled. Okay, I do still own it, and I have not read it. This says, a charming historical fantasy with a tender love story at its core from the author of Unnatural Magic. Hard-drinking petty thief Delaria Wells is down on her luck in the city of Liescourt again. Then she sees a want ad for a female bodyguard, and she fast talks her way into the high-paying job. Along with a team of other women, she's meant to protect a rich young lady from mysterious assassins. At first, Deli thinks the danger is exaggerated, but a series of attacks shows there's much to fear. Then she begins to fall for Wen, one of the other bodyguards, and the women team up against a mysterious magical foe who seems to have allies everywhere. So if you want me to read this, vote The Ruthless Lady's Guide to Wizardry. All right, next up.
Okay, next up we have Simmer Down by Sarah Smith.
Simmer Down. I can't recall. Okay, that's one that I've unhauled. All right. Next up.
Next we have, this is one of the other Christmas ones that came in that box. We have we have A Princess for Christmas by Jenny Holiday.
I feel like I've read this one. Well, if I did, I never put it into my Goodreads. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I've just read like the back of it a few times and it's stuck in my head. This says, from USA Today bestselling author Jenny Holiday comes a modern fairy tale just in time for Christmas about a tough New Yorker from the other side of the tracks who falls for a princess from the other side of the world. Leo Ritchie's already handling all he can between taking care of his little sister Gabby, driving a cab, and being the super of his apartment building in the Bronx. But when Gabby spots a princess in a gown outside of the UN trying to hail a cab, she begs her brother to stop and help. Before he knows it, he's got a real-life damsel in distress in the backseat of his car. Princess Marie of Endovia shouldn't be hailing a cab, or even be out and about. But after her mother's death, her father has plunged into a devastating depression, and the fate of her small alpine country has fallen on Marie's shoulders. She's taken aback by the gruff but devastatingly handsome driver who shows her more kindness than she's seen in a long time. When Marie asks Leo to be her driver for the rest of her trip, he agrees, thinking he'll squire a rich miss around for a while and make more money than he has in months. He doesn't expect to like and start longing for the unpredictable Marie, and when he and Gabby end up in Endovia for Christmas, he discovers the princess who is all wrong for him is also the woman who is his perfect match. So if you want me to read this, vote A Princess for Christmas. This is a very interesting haul to be reacting to in the summer. All right. Next up.
Next up we have, this one was their middle grade one, and that is Sky Song by Abby Elphinstone.
I don't know. Okay, I have read and unhauled Sky Song. All right. Next up.
Okay, next up we have Happily Ever Afters by Elise Bryant.
I feel like I've read that, but I'm going to check. I did read that and do still own it. Yay. All right, next up.
Okay, next up we have The Lady Upstairs by Haley Sutton.
I feel like I still own this one and haven't read it, but I have to check. Okay, no, I was wrong. I haven't read it, but I unhauled it. Alrighty, next up.
Also, I have this one here trying to get my attention. She just likes to hang out on my shoulder. Don't you, Katniss? Don't you? Okay, you gotta go though. I can't do the book thing with it. Oh. Ah. Release. Okay. All right, next up we have, this is the last one I think from the Unplugged book boxes, and that is A Curse of Roses by Diana Pinjuka.
I'm not sure about this one. Okay, I do still own this one, and I have not read it. This says, with just one touch, bread turns into roses. With just one bite, cheese turns into lilies. There's a famine plaguing the land, and Princess Jezebel is wasting food simply by trying to eat. Before she can even swallow her magic, her curse has turned her meal into a bouquet. She's on the verge of starving, which only reminds her that the people of Portugal have been enduring the same pain. If only it were possible to reverse her magic, then she could turn flowers into food. Fatian, a beautiful enchanted Mora, is the only one who can help. But she is trapped by magical binds. She can teach Jezebel how to control her curse if Jezebel sets her free with a kiss. As the king of Portugal's betrothed, Jezebel would be committing treason. But what good is a king if his country has starved to death? With just one kiss, Fatia is set free, and with just one kiss, Jezebel is yearning for more. She'd sought out Fatia to help her save the people. Now loving her could mean Jezebel's destruction. Based on Portuguese legend, this #OnVoices historical fantasy is an epic tale of mystery, magic, and making the impossible choice between love and duty. So if you want me to read this, vote A Curse of Roses. All right, next up.
Okay, sorry if it was an angle change. While I was at it, I went ahead and swapped out my battery so it wouldn't like die in the middle of me talking. Okay, so on to, we'll start up here. The books that I purchased online, and these are not in any kind of order from where I got them from because I just mixed all them together. The first one I have here is York Book 3, The Map of Stars by Laura Ruby.
Okay, so I do still own this. I have not read it. So this is book 3 in the series, and I have not read book 2. So I read book 1, which was The Shadow Cipher, but I have not read book 2, which is The Clockwork Ghost. I can't tell you about 2 or 3 because they are part of a series, but I will read you about book 1, and then you can vote for book 2. So this is the York series. So book 1 says, it was 1798 when the Morningstar twins arrived in New York with a vision for a magnificent city, towering skyscrapers, dazzling machines, and winding train lines, all running on technology no one had ever seen before. 57 years later, the enigmatic architects disappeared, leaving behind for the people of New York the old York cipher, a puzzle laid into the shining city they constructed, at the end of which was promised a treasure beyond all imagining. By the present day, however, the puzzle has never been solved, and the greatest mystery of the modern world is little more than a tourist attraction. Tess and Theo Biederman and their friend Jamie Cruz live in a Morningstar apartment house until a real estate developer announces that the city has agreed to sell him the 5 remaining Morningstar buildings. Their likely destruction means the end of a dream long held by the people of New York. And if Tess, Theo, and Jamie want to save their home, they have to prove that the old York cipher is real, which means they have to solve it. So if you want me to read this series, or the next book in the series, vote The Clockwork Ghost. All right, next up.
Okay, next up we have Rebound by Aga Leiswick. Leiswicks?
I have no idea. My guess is I probably unhauled it since I have no idea, but I could be wrong. I did unhaul it. All right, next up.
Next up we have American Royals by Catherine McGee.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I still own this one and haven't read it. I'm going to double check just to make sure that is correct. I actually have, I don't know if it's a trilogy and I have all 3 books, or I just have the first 3 books in the series. Let's see. This says, what if America had a royal family? When America won the Revolutionary War, its people offered General George Washington a crown. 2.5 centuries later, the House of Washington still sits on the throne. As Princess Beatrice gets closer to becoming America's first queen regent, the duty she has embraced her entire life suddenly feels stifling. Nobody cares about the spare except when she's breaking the rules. So Princess Samantha doesn't care much about anything either, except the one boy who is distinctly off limits to her. And then there's Samantha's twin, Prince Jefferson. If he'd been born a generation earlier, he would have stood first in line for the throne. But the new laws of secession make him third. Most of America adores their devastatingly handsome prince, but 2 very different girls are vying to capture his heart. So if you want me to read this, vote American Royals. At this point, it looks like we're at the halfway point in the video. So, I mean, right now we have 9. So more than likely I'm going to have to read more than just the top voted book. Because if I get even one more, it's going to be the top 2. But considering how many we've gone through, I feel like I haven't done terrible. So, a little pat on my back. All right, continuing on.
Next we have Catherine House by Elizabeth Thomas.
I feel as though I unhauled Catherine House. I did. All right, next up.
Next up we have, the next 2 books we have, A Heart So Fierce and Broken. This is one that I already own and have read multiple times, but I actually owned an ARC of it, and it was a signed, personalized ARC, and so I wouldn't be getting rid of it, but I really wanted a hardcover to match my hardcover of A Curse So Dark and Lonely. And then I pre-ordered A Vow So Bold and Deadly.
Okay, so I have read and do still own both of those. Next.
Okay, next up we have, ooh, that stack wants to fall. We have Pages & Co. The Book Wanderers by Anna James.
I feel like I still own this. Okay, I do still own this and I have not read it. This says, a magical adventure to delight the imagination. A curl up on the sofa debut from a uniquely talented author. 11-year-old Tilly has lived above her grandparents' bookstore ever since her mother disappeared shortly after she was born. Like the rest of her family, Tilly loves nothing more than to escape into the pages of her favorite stories. One day, Tilly realizes that classic children's characters are appearing in the shop through the magic of book wandering, crossing over from the pages into real life. With the help of Anne of Green Gables and Alice in Wonderland, Tilly is determined to solve the mystery of what happened to her mother all those years ago. So she bravely steps into the unknown, unsure of what adventure lies ahead and what dangers she may face. So if you want me to read this, vote The Book Wanderers. And that puts us at 10. Next up.
Alright, next up we have Jackpot, All Bets Are Off by Nick Stone.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I still own this and haven't read it. That is correct. This says, from the author of the New York Times bestseller, Dear Martin, comes a pitch-perfect romance that examines class, privilege, and how a stroke of good luck can change an entire life. Meet Rico, high school senior and afternoon shift cashier at the Gas and Go, who after school and work races home to take care of her younger brother every single day. When Rico sells a jackpot-winning lotto ticket, she thinks maybe her luck will finally change, but only if she, with some assistance from her popular and wildly rich classmate Zan, can find the ticket holder who hasn't claimed the prize. But what happens when have and have-nots collide? Will this investigative duo unite or divide? Nick Stone, the New York Times bestselling author of Dear Martin and Odd One Out, creates two unforgettable characters in one hard-hitting story about class, money, both too little and too much, and how you can make your own luck in the world. So if you want me to read this, vote Jackpot. All right, next up.
Next we have Side Effects May Vary by Julie Murphy.
I feel like I've read this, but I'm not sure. No, it looks like I unhauled it. All right, next up.
Okay, these next three books here are the first three books in a series. We have The Power of Poppy Pendle by Natasha Lowe. And book 2 is The Courage of Kat Campbell. And book 3 is The Marvelous Magic of Miss Mabel.
I don't know. Okay, I do still own these three books. Great. And I haven't read them. So I'll just put the first book on the list, but it is counting for 3 unread. Okay, so the first book is The Power of Poppy Pendle. This says, Poppy Pendle was born on the floor of a patisserie Marie Claire bakery in the little town of Potts Bottom. When, as an infant, Poppy unexpectedly performs her first bit of magic, her parents, Edith and Roger, know their dream has come true. Their daughter has inherited the family gift. But as Poppy grows up, she isn't as thrilled about her magical talents. Even though she was born into a long line of witches, she has inherited the extraordinary gifts of famed great-grandmother Mabel and is enrolled at the exclusive Ruthersfield Academy, a school for witchcraft. She wants to be a baker instead, making yummy lemon cakes, buttery almond cookies, chocolate meltaways, and caramel crunch cookies is Poppy's passion, and it makes her happy. Poppy Pendle has no choice but to take matters into her own hands. Whose life is it anyway, she asks. So if you want me to read this, vote The Power of Poppy Pendle. All right, next up.
Next up, oh, this is something I got for Marty. This is Absolutely Nasty Word Search Level 1 by Dan Fair.
I'm going to mark this as unhauled because I unhauled it to Marty. Next.
Next up, we have 2 graphic novels. So the first one is Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I Wish.
I feel like I unhauled this because I think this is part of that reboot thing they did and I didn't like it. Let me see. No, I'm wrong. But okay, so I do still own this and I haven't read it. But it's not the first graphic novel in that series. So I feel like for this one, I would need to get a hold of the first book in that series or the first graphic novel in that series and read that. And that one is, so I Wish is actually volume 2. It's season 10, volume 2. And the first one is called New Rules. This says, while slaying zompires that have overrun a small California town, Buffy and her pals are shocked to discover a new kind of vampire, harder to kill, able to transform and walk in the light of day like Dracula. If that weren't enough, the rules of magic are literally being rewritten. While the crew attempts to find out exactly what this means and restore the status quo, Xander is the victim of a haunting as his relationship with Dawn crumbles. If you want me to read this, vote Buffy the Vampire Slayer, New Rules. Alright, next.
Next up we have Angel and Faith, Where the River Meets the Sea.
I'm sure I still have this one as well. And I haven't read it. So let me see where that is as far as series goes. Okay, I have to make a correction on the last Buffy graphic novel, because I just realized that, okay, so that's season 10. I have to read season 8 and 9. So instead of voting Buffy the Vampire Slayer New Rules, I need you to vote, if you're going to vote for this, Buffy the Vampire Slayer The Long Way Home, which is season 8, volume 1. Because this is what immediately happens following the show. And the writer of the show, Joss Whedon, is also the writer for these graphic novels. So these are the ones that I would actually want to read instead of the remade thing. So before I tell you about the Angel and Faith one, let me tell you about the Long Way Home. This says, since the destruction of the Hellmouth, the Slayer's newly legion have gotten organized and are kicking some serious undead butt. But not everything's fun and firearms, as an old enemy reappears and Dawn experiences some serious growing pains. Meanwhile, one of the Buffy decoy slayers is going through major pain of her own. So, yeah, you can vote The Long Way Home if you want. Okay, so I just looked at the Angel and Faith one, and that's also a season 10 thing. And apparently the season 9 follows the season 8 of the Buffy one. So I have to read that before I can read. I have to read that whole season before I can read season 9 of either. So I'm going to just mark this one as I still own and have not read, but not one that you can vote for, because the one you would vote for is Buffy the Vampire Slayer, The Long Way Home. Okay, next up.
Then we have The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness.
I feel like I still own this, but I'm going to check. I also don't think I've read it. That is correct. This says, a new YA novel from novelist Patrick Ness, author of the Carnegie Mellon and Kate Greenaway medal-winning A Monster Calls, and the critically acclaimed Chaos Walking trilogy. The Rest of Us Just Live Here is a bold and irreverent novel that powerfully reminds us that there are many different types of remarkable. What if you aren't the chosen one, the one who's supposed to fight the zombies, kind of funny after the Buffy ones, or the soul-eating ghosts, or whatever the heck this new thing is with the blue lights and the death? What if you're like Mikey, who just wants to graduate and go to prom and maybe finally work up the courage to ask Henna out before someone goes and blows up the high school again? Because sometimes there are problems bigger than this week's end of the world, and sometimes you just have to find the extraordinary in your ordinary life, even if your best friend is worshipped by mountain lions. So if you want me to read this, about The Rest of Us Just Live Here. We're very quickly coming up on 19 at this point. I think we have 17. All right, next up.
Okay, so these next two books here are part of a series. So we have book 1, Dumpling by Julie Murphy, and book 2, Puddin'.
I'm not sure if I know I've watched the movie Dumpling. I'm not sure if I've read the books, though. Okay, I do still own them both, and I have not read either of them. So let me read you about Dumpling. This says, dubbed Dumplin' by her former beauty queen mom, Willadine has always been at home in her own skin. Her thoughts of having the ultimate bikini body, put a bikini on your body. With her all-American beauty best friend Ellen by her side, things have always worked. Until Will takes a job at Harpy's, the local fast food joint. There she meets Private School Beau, a former jock. Will isn't surprised to find herself attracted to Beau, but she is surprised when he seems to like her back. Instead of finding new heights of self-assurance in her relationship with Beau, Will starts to doubt herself. So she sets out to take back her confidence by doing the most horrifying thing she can imagine, entering the Miss Clover City beauty pageant along with several other unlikely candidates, to show the world that she deserves to be up there as much as any girl does. Along the way, she'll shock the hell out of Clover City and maybe herself most of all. So if you want me to read this, vote Dumplin'. All right, we're at 19 now. So one more, and I've got to pick the top 3 voted books. Next up.
Okay, one final stack remaining. All right, next up we have Too Close to Breathe by Olivia Kiernan. Or Kiernan?
I have no idea. Okay, I do still own this, and I have not read it. This says, Olivia Kiernan's tautly written debut novel immerses readers in a chilling murder case and the tantalizing, enigmatic victim at the center of it all. In a quiet Dublin suburb within her pristine home, Eleanor Costello is found hanging from a rope. Detective Chief Superintendent Frankie Sheehan would be more than happy to declare it a suicide. 4 months earlier, Frankie's pursuit of a killer almost ended her life, and she isn't keen on investigating another homicide. But the autopsy reveals poorly healed bones and old stab wounds absent from the medical records. A new cut is carefully, deliberately covered in paint. Eleanor's husband, Peter, is unreachable, missing. A search of the couple's home reveals only 2 signs of personality: a much-loved book on art and a laptop with access to the dark web. With the suspect pool growing, the carefully crafted profile of the victim crumbling with each new lead, and mysterious calls to Frankie's phone implying that the killer is closer than anyone would like, all Frankie knows is that Eleanor guarded her secrets as closely in life as she does in death. As the investigation grows more challenging, Frankie can't help but feel that something doesn't fit, and when another woman is found murdered, the same paint on her corpse, Frankie knows that unraveling Eleanor's life is the only way to find the murderer before he claims another victim, or finishes the fate Frankie only just managed to escape. Engrossing, complex, and atmospheric, Olivia Kiernan's debut novel will leave readers breathless. So if you want me to read this, vote Too Close to Breathe. And that puts us at 20, so I've got to read at least the top 2 voted books. But there's still a stack of books there, so let's see how it goes.
All right, next up we have Perfect Days by Ralph Montez.
I have no idea. I still own it. I have not read it. This says, a twisted young medical student kidnaps the girl of his dreams and embarks on a dark and delirious road trip across Brazil in the English language debut of Brazil's most celebrated young crime writer. Tio Avelar is a loner. He lives with his paraplegic mother and her dog in Rio de Janeiro. He doesn't have many friends, and the only time he feels honest human emotion is in the presence of his medical school cadaver. That is, until he meets Clarice. She's almost his exact opposite. Exotic, spontaneous, unafraid to speak her mind. An aspiring screenwriter, she's working on a screenplay called Perfect Days about 3 friends who go on a road trip across Brazil in search of romance. Tio is obsessed. He begins to stalk her, first following her to her university, then to her home, and when she ultimately rejects him, he kidnaps her and they embark upon their very own twisted odyssey across Brazil, tracing the same route outlined in her screenplay. Through it all, Tio is certain that time is all he needs to prove to Clarice that they are made for each other, and that time is all he needs to make her fall in love with him. But as the journey progresses, he digs himself deeper and deeper into a pit that he can't get out of, stopping at nothing to ensure that no one gets in the way of their life together. Both tense and lurid and brimming with suspense from the very first page, Perfect Days is a psychological thriller in the vein of Patricia Highsmith, the talented Mr. Ripley. A chilling journey in the passenger seat with a psychopath in the English language debut of one of Brazil's most deliciously dark young writers. So if you want me to read this, vote Perfect Days. All right, next up.
Next up, we have, this one's a middle grade. I read another book by this author and really, really enjoyed it. And so I wanted to read more. And this is Rump, The True Story of Rumpelstiltskin by Liesl Shirtliff.
I'm pretty sure I've read Rump and still own it. No, I read Grump, not Rump. They're by the same author. Okay, so I do still own Rump, and I have not read it. This says, in a magic kingdom where your name is your destiny, 12-year-old Rump is the butt of everyone's joke. But when he finds an old spinning wheel, his luck seems to change. Rump discovers he has a gift for spinning straw into gold. His best friend, Red Riding Hood, warns him that magic is dangerous, and she's right. With each thread he spins, he weaves himself deeper into a curse. To break the spell, Rump must go on a perilous quest, fighting off pixies, trolls, poison apples, and a wickedly foolish queen. The odds are against him, but with courage and friendship and a cheeky sense of humor, he just might triumph in the end. So if you want me to read this, vote Rump, which is the true story of Rumpelstiltskin. All right, next.
Okay, next up we have Black Cats and Four-Leaf Clovers, The Origins of Old Wives' Tales and Superstitions in Our Everyday Lives.
I have read and unhauled that. Next.
Okay, so this next book is called Tales of the Madman Underground by John Barnes.
I'm not sure if I still own that. I do still own it, and I have not read it. I started out so good. All right, this says, Wednesday, September 5th, 1973, the first day of Carl Shoemaker's senior year in stifling Lightsburg, Ohio. For years, Carl's been part of what he calls the Madman Underground, a group of kids forced, for no apparent reason, to attend a group therapy during school hours. Carl has decided that senior year is going to be different. He's going to get out of the Madman Underground for good. He's going to act and be normal. But normal, of course, is relative. Carl has 5 after-school jobs, 1 dead father, 1 seriously unhinged drunk mother, and a huge attitude. Welcome to a gritty, uncensored roller coaster ride narrated by the singular Carl Shoemaker. So if you want me to read this, vote Tales of the Madman Underground. All right, next up.
Okay, next up we have The Shadow Between Us by Tricia Levenseller.
I still own and have not read The Shadows Between Us. I happened to look to see, and it's on my shelf right over there. This says, Alessandra is tired of being overlooked, but she has a plan to gain power. 1, woo the Shadow King. 2, marry him. 3, kill him and take his kingdom for herself. No one knows the extent of the freshly crowned Shadow King's power. Some say he can command the shadows that swirl around him to do his bidding. Others say they speak to him, whispering the thoughts of his enemies. Regardless, Alessandra knows what she deserves, and she's going to do everything within her power to get it. But Alessandra is not the only one trying to kill the king. As attempts on his life are made, she finds herself trying to keep him alive long enough for him to make her his queen, all while struggling not to lose her heart. After all, who better for a Shadow King than a cunning, villainous queen? So if you want me to read this, vote The Shadows Between Us. We're up to 24 at this point. But it looks like there's only 3 left on the shelf behind me there. So that means I won't have to pick any more books past the top 3. So I'll only have to pick the top 3. But dang. At this point, I thought I was doing so good. But it looks like at least half of them I haven't read. All right, next up.
Okay, next up we have, this was a book that I got from Marty. It's called Atomic Adventures, Secret Islands, Forgotten N-Rays, and Isotopic Murder, A Journey into the Wild World of Nuclear Science by James Mahaffey.
Okay, so I'm marking this one as unhaul because this was something I just got from Artie. All right, next up.
Next up, we have The Land of Stories, A Grim Warning by Chris Colfer. This is book 3 in The Land of Stories.
The Land of Stories, A Grim Warning. I feel like I've read the first, maybe second in that series. I feel like I haven't read the third one. Oh no, I have. So I own, it looks like at least, I don't know if there's more than 5, but I own the first 5. And I've read the first 3 and I still own them. Yay. Okay. Cool. All right, next up.
Okay, so the last book that I have here was actually one that Kayla from Books and Lala has chosen for one of her Literally Dead book club picks. I think this is the book for March. And so I went ahead and ordered it. And that is House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski.
I unhauled that thing. I did read, I don't remember how much of it I read, but I hated it. And I unhauled it. And that was the last book. Whew. Okay, so I think there were 46 books in this haul, and I have 24 unread. So a little more than half. Didn't do as good as I thought I was doing. The beginning started out really, really good. Okay, so here are the books that you can vote for, and I will pick the top 3 voted books. You can vote for as many as you want, but like I said, I'll just take the top 3. Okay, so you can vote for Immoral Code, 8 Days on Planet Earth, This Heart of Mine, One More for Christmas, The Ruthless Lady's Guide to Wizardry, A Princess for Christmas, A Curse of Roses, The Clockwork Ghost, American Royals, The Book Wanderers, Jackpot, The Power of Poppy Pendle, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, The Long Way Home, The Rest of Us Just Live Here, Dumplin', Too Close to Breathe, Perfect Days, Rump, Tales of the Madman Underground, or The Shadows Between Us. So comment down below which book or books you would like me to read in the upcoming month. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this, click that subscribe button down below. And until next time, remember to always be completely you. Bye!